Hopefully the other two will get here, but we have a quorum, so we're good from that standpoint. All right, let's call the meeting in order. Roll call.
Chair Brickbill,
Here.
Vice Chair Moser,
Here.
Board Member James, Board Member Laughlin,
Here.
Board Member Manera,
Here.
Board Member Scherer,
Here.
and Board Member Whalen.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, looking for a motion to approve the minutes, or if there's any changes.
Motion to approve?
Okay, Bonnie, approve, a motion, second?
Second.
Jeff, second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. We'll
Chair,
go.
Can we approve the agenda, please?
Oh, did I skip that?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. I'll second.
Clay, Will, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So now we're comments from the public on non-agenda related items. You guys, anybody have any comments?
I have none, Chair.
Okay. Comments by the board members on non-agenda items. Start with you, Will. You got anything here this morning?
Actually, I hate to be that guy that drags a meeting
You can
out
go
for
ahead.
hours, but I have a place to be at 8 o'clock, so I can guarantee that I'm not going to be here that long. But I do have some comments. First comment was all government programs, no matter how well-intentioned, ultimately take from one group and give it to another. And once a program is established, it rarely, if ever, goes away. Typically, there are unforeseen and unintentional consequences related to these government programs. Now, last week, or I should say last month when we had the meeting with the Spice and Tea Exchange, we were very conflicted, and I thought we did a great job. And I was actually very proud and honored to be with this group.
Just wait, we'll change that.
Well, yeah. You know, it struck me as like you're like the William Wallace. We're the Stuart clan, and we're not going to allow these outsiders to come in. You know, and I had to break ranks and vote yes. You know, and that it struck me because something was eating at me. So I ended up doing some more research, and then the research I did, I called like the corporate offices of this company and snooped around, asked them questions, found out that basically those individuals, the Gordons who had applied, aren't going to get any benefits really. In fact, if anything, they didn't flat out admit it. I could tell from their tone of voice that they knew that if anything, they were more of a hindrance to them. So after all of this conversations and breaking down things, I said, well, I'm going to go speak. And I did to the regular county commission and said why I thought they should maybe consider approving them, even though it went against this board. So I kind of felt bad about that, but I'm like, well, something was eating at me. Today, we have a moral dilemma, in my opinion. And so as I was reading what was on the agenda, and moral dilemmas basically can be defined as choosing one option often means violating the ethical considerations of the other. So essentially, this led to the whole, me thinking about the CRA and what's this all about. We're going to grant $3,000 of taxpayer funds potentially grant $3,000 funds to a business owner. I'm all about small business, so I'm sitting there thinking, wow, okay, how am I going to vote on this? I set it aside, and then, it comes to as I'm sitting there thinking about it, I thought about the individuals that spoke at the one meeting in support of it. Specifically, really, do we have the right to force at gunpoint, as law enforcement will enforce foreclosure on somebody if they don't pay their taxes? Do we have the right to specifically ask another to give to somebody else? And I thought of the comments from Miss Peters, who is the owner of the Funky Monkey, I believe, and then Miss Campbell, who I think is the owner of Gumbo Limbo, and Mr. Moore of Kilwins, who spoke about free markets and the code was unconstitutional in his opinion. And And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, this is kind of a dilemma, right? Coming up ahead of me. So then in a divine intervention, it's funny how things happen. I set something aside, and usually within 15 minutes or so, something will pop in out of nowhere. So I click on a financial site, and I'm looking at this article, and I see somebody make a comment, oh, that's a great link. So I'm like, I don't got time for that. I'm worried about this other thing, but what the heck, I'll click on the link. And then what it was is a Harper's Weekly story from 1867 of Congressman Colonel Davy Crockett. And then I'm like, really? Okay, I like history. The title was Not Yours to Give. I'm like, oh boy, here we go, divine intervention, okay? And then so I read the article. It's a little article. It's a short story, but it says, the power of collecting and dispersing money at pleasure is the most dangerous power that can be entrusted to man. This is back in the 1867. Today we could say man or woman, I suppose, to be politically correct. And that struck me, and I'm going to save the whole article. Then it says, you have the right to give one, or I should say, if you have the right to give to one, you have the right to give to all. And as the Constitution neither defines charity nor stipulates the amount, you are at liberty to give to any and everything which you may believe or profess to believe is a charity, and to any amount you may think proper. You will very easily perceive what a wide door this would open for fraud and corruption and favoritism on the one hand, and for robbing people on the other hand. And instantly I thought about this guy, Jim Chanos, in the financial markets back in 1999. He was on the other side of the trade of what I was on. I'm like, why? This is the famous short seller. I'm like, this guy probably knows something I don't. So I dumped the position, and he was right. Stock cratered. And he's got this great reputation. Just recently, and a couple years ago now, he says, this is the golden age of fraud. And I'm like, yeah, I see it everywhere. If you do any research, it's everywhere. And it's creeping into all kinds of things. So that's kind of a long story. Thanks for your time, and thanks for the public enduring my and being patient as I ramble on here. But we have that major concern of this moral dilemma that we face today. And I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. And I also want to add one last point. As I was researching the CRA, I sent an email to Panel, and she was nice enough to call and then actually answered all my questions. And she's doing it, she's very diligent, very professional, and she identified, and correct me if I'm wrong, Panel, your funding last year, your budget last year was $13 million in 2024, and then it's roughly $23 million this year, which is a 77% increase, which is spectacular by any measures. So we have a very competent individual working for the city of Stuart and with the city of Stuart. But at the end of the day, it also hit me, well, okay, 10 million of this was roughly in grants. That's other people's money. And so the CRA, the question comes back to the title of that article. Is it our money to give away? Now, I understand I'm not here to change the CRA or anything like that, but I just hope that everybody considers the moral dilemma of what we have here, because there's something else, and maybe I'll bring it up and as I start digging around some more. I think December is supposed to be my last meeting as I roll off. That might be my, here, Jeff, hold my beer.
You never
try
roll
something.
off.
My famous last words.
You never roll off. You're stuck.
No.
You can't get out.
So anyway, but I did think I found to go back to the Tea and Exchange Company, whoever wrote that code, it didn't mean it to be a wall, like a castle wall. It says, nope, nobody's going to come into our Klein Lodge. No, they meant it as more of a hurdle, and I felt that they meet the hurdle. So I think I might have found a potential way around what this moral dilemma today. At least I like to think so. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And that reminds me,
Yeah, go ahead.
I had some ex parte. I had the landlord, Max Duche, contact me and ask me to rethink the situation, and spent a good amount of time presenting his position. And to be honest, I was swayed, and I would probably have voted yes if I had had the conversation ahead of time. The main consideration for me was that he has multiple other opportunities to lease the space that would be far more detrimental to downtown Stuart than
The
tea
t-shirt
store.
shop?
Yeah. T-shirt shops, the people that like on the other side that are running out and grabbing people and pulling them. I mean, even if when they come in, they're not telling you they're going to do that, but they're going to do that afterwards and try to enforce, that they're unable to do that is going to be difficult to enforce. So he swayed me towards the other side, and I would probably shift my position if we were back in time.
Clay, do you have a comment on that?
It's hard to follow my esteemed colleague there at the end, but and I wasn't planning on commenting on that, but since he brought it up, I'm not sure I fully followed you, Will, but around to me, you're sort of getting at it sounds like you're getting at the purpose of the CRA. And I think it's, as in the title, redevelopment. So the community has kind of agreed that we want to reinvest in some spaces, and this is a mechanism by which to do it. And yeah, it does, it's been around a long time, but if you make a good point about let's say I don't know if revenue is the right word, but let's just call it the budget for the CRA. So it's been around a long time. The budget has not been very significant until just very recent years, but it was almost like the strategy. If you get into the history of the CRA, that was kind of the strategy. Most of them go that way. They kind of take off like that at a certain point because of the TIF funds, the source of the revenue. But it's not a surprise. I think it was intended and planned that way. That being sort of separate from the purpose. If folks have a view about the purpose of the CRA and whether we as a community want to redevelop or invest in redeveloping and improving the community, it's a different topic. That's why the CRA exists. That's the way I see it. If I could change subject for a moment.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to finish up on this, though, when we...
Okay, go ahead. I'll come back.
Bonnie, do you have a comment on that subject?
No.
I did want to follow up on that, and I do appreciate you bringing that up as a topic, Will, just for discussion. We can't take any action. We haven't publicized anything, so we can't do anything on that. But I was going to bring up at this meeting, in general, that I think that it's time for the city commission to look at that formula business ordinance. Because it is not clear. And, ultimately, you can have all the ordinances you want, but if they won't hold up in court, then whoever's got the most money is going to win. And, my concern with that thing was not the person that was coming in from a practical standpoint. I like the people. The business itself seems conceptually to be good. But my problem was that if you don't turn down a business that has 98 locations, and, how do you turn down Dunkin' Donuts? How do you turn down Ruth Chris? How do you turn down any of these corporate entities? And the whole purpose of formula business was to keep out the big box store type businesses legally. And you can't just say, we're not going to have any big box stores, because that's probably illegal. So that's, that's what I think needs to be done. I was going to mention it here to staff, that maybe they could mention it to the commission, that we thought it would be a good idea for them to take a look at, because if we're going to enforce something, it should be something that's enforceable, is really what my issue was. And so I appreciate that. The other thing I was going to mention, and Jolie, you can jump in here and correct me if I'm wrong, but when they talk about a $23 million budget in that kind of a situation, they use fund accounting. So the tax dollars come in and they stay here someplace until it's time to spend them, and then they become part of the budget. So what you're seeing is money that was, has to some degree been accumulated, and now we have projects that we need that money for, and it's brought in to spend. So theoretically, it could go up and down from that standpoint, even though the revenue source is relatively constant coming in and maybe increasing, as you said, Clay, the same thing. So, but I think it is important for us to understand that I appreciate what you're saying, Will, And I appreciate, though, that the CRA is there for us to get a leg up. I mean, it's to give cities and municipalities and counties an opportunity, or cities in particular, or areas, an opportunity to get a leg up and, generate some money that we can spend in the city. The sales tax dollars that come in that we get to keep are small. We bring a bunch in, but we don't get to keep much. So, and this is an opportunity for the city, or at least a portion of the city, to get some dollars in. And so, I appreciate it from that standpoint. I think it's good, but I think there's also, we're having a tendency to, I think what we have to be careful of as a board is make sure that we believe that what the money is being spent on is not just to spend it. It does have to be spent in the CRA, but that doesn't mean it has to be spent on bad projects. So, but I think your comments are really good, and particularly as it relates to the formula business. I mean, I was going to show up, and that's one other thing. I appreciate you guys showing up at commission meetings. And if you want to speak, even though it's here, you're residents, citizens, whatever, you have a right to voice your opinion. So if there was something you thought, didn't get voiced correctly, and I encouraged the commission to take a look at our meeting because we were conflicted, and I thought we did a pretty good job of trying to analyze it. So I think going forward, that's one of the things that I think I would like to see somebody take a look at that at that ordinance. And because of Senate Bill 180, we may not be able to change certain things, but it may be where we have room to do that on this because it's a little bit different. But anyway, so I appreciate that. And but Clay, go ahead. Sorry, you had another topic, or something you want to mention.
Okay. So just maybe a clarification, and either Mr. Chair, you can clarify, or maybe Lee would, but on a quarterly basis, we have this sort of joint meeting between the CRB, the CRA folks, and the commissioners. And we all sit in this very fancy square-looking desk thing.
That's because we're important.
Yeah, it's nice when we're more important than today.
That's right.
What will be helpful for me is just a reminder on the fact that we have a chair and a vice chair of this board, but that's not necessarily who's voting or who has a vote in that joint meeting. So that in that joint meeting, we're all part of it, but we're not all voting members. There's two from this group who are voting members, correct? And that's you and Fred.
Right.
Not you. It's not the chair and the vice chair. We selected independently, I think.
Well,
you and Fred.
And a lot of times it is the chair and the vice chair, but in this case, Bonnie had indicated that she couldn't do it, so Fred volunteered to take
Right,
that.
so just for clarity, so those are the two people who vote at that joint meeting, correct? The rest of us are just hangers-on. Hopefully influencing things with our wisdom.
Usually, the items that I have, I try to bring to CRB and CRA so that CRB can make a recommendation, provide feedback. But sometimes I just bring an item at that joint meeting, especially when we have a consultant and we're paying a lot of money for the consultant to come out and give a presentation. So at that meeting, I usually have everybody give feedback, but the CRA gets to vote on the item. So not even the city commission, it's the CRA, unless it's something that requires city commission action item, then they would vote on it, not even the CRA.
Gotcha. So the CRA, I guess, technically is the commissioners and two from here.
Right.
Got it. Okay. That's helpful to know. Thanks for that.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
I'm good.
All right. Bonnie? No. Okay. All right. No, I appreciate everybody and their comments and consideration, and I think I appreciate what you guys are looking out for, and I think we should continue. And I like the fact that we have some good discussion between the group, and we don't always agree on everything because that's a good thing. What is it? Friction makes diamonds. Is that what they say?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. It also makes you lose your hair sometimes too. Yeah.
I know that. So the one thing I know we had. There was plans to have a little appreciation thing, and I guess we didn't have a lot of people sign up or whatever, and so we got these nice little gifts, which is cool. But I was thinking that maybe we, as a board here, we could just sponsor or host kind of just a real informal thing sometime in December where people can come in, they can, maybe have an hors d'oeuvre, do whatever. And maybe we could get Main Street to help us, coordinate it. And, nothing real formal and nothing real long, and we can invite the other boards and stuff as long as it's noticed. I don't think there's a problem with it, that we're doing it. I know we've done it in the past. That's why I mentioned it. I know it was kind of nice, people would it was casual. It wasn't business, so to speak. And we would just have a local thing. So it might be something to think about. Everybody's busy, so I understand that. But it's kind of nice to get together and get a chance to talk to the other people on the LPA. We don't talk to them. We don't get to see them a lot, and that kind of thing. So anyway, I just mentioned that. Pinal, maybe we can look into it just as a, just kind of like a little open house type thing. Nothing formal. So, all right. And if that's no other items from, nothing there. Okay, so let's get into the action items. The first one of the action items, labeled number 2, is a minor urban code conditional use. And this will be quasi-judicial, by the way, just so that we can be clear with it. A minor urban code conditional use, a mural on Matilda's building located at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue. Resolution number 02-2025 CRB, a resolution of the Community Redevelopment Board of the City of Stuart. By the way, that's because we do approve this. This is one of the few items that we have final authority on. Redevelopment Board of the City of Stuart, Florida, granting a minor conditional use approval for public artwork mural named Welcome to Stuart, Happiest Seaside Town, on a property located at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue, as described within the attached legal description, granting approval to paint a mural on the exterior southern wall of the building, providing an effective date, providing for conditions of approval, and for other purposes. So that's basically the what we're looking at. So did any of, or has any of the board members had any kind of ex parte communications relative to this subject? No, okay, good.
Nope.
And if there's none, we'll just state that there was none. So just so we know, there was none.
Say something about not having something with an open mind, or is
Yeah, that's where we're kind of at, that we didn't have any ex parte communications,
Okay.
but any outside meetings. By the way, that would include with citizens and other people, but anyway. So, and as Bonnie mentioned, hopefully we're all here with an open mind. So I know I am, and we'll hopefully, so. Okay, so we're,
If you'll have each of the members say whether they had ex parte
Okay,
communications
okay.
or none. You can
okay,
say so.
okay, go ahead. Will?
I had no ex parte communications, and I'm here with an open mind.
I had no ex parte communications, and I'm here with an open mind.
I had no communications, and I'm here with an open mind.
I had no ex parte communications, and I'm here with an open mind.
I had none, and I'm here with an open mind.
All right. Are we going to swear people in then, or just?
I know the form says the clerk, but the city attorney usually does.
Yeah, I know, that's why I was, okay, good.
So if everybody who will be intending on testifying, including staff, you'll stand up and raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Okay, who's going to make the presentation for staff?
I am.
Oh,
There's Jordan over there.
yeah, she's hiding behind those
I'm over
screens. I
here.
didn't see.
Good afternoon, CRB board members. Jordan Pinkston, CRA program manager for the record. CRA received a mural matching grant application proposing a mural on the wall of the Matilda's building in downtown. The application is processed simultaneously with a minor conditional use application approval process, which requires approval from the CRB, as mentioned by the chair. The minor conditional use application review requires the applicant to meet public art criteria and public notice requirements in accordance with the city's land development code. The Matilda's application has met both requirements. As mentioned, the proposed mural will be on the exterior southern wall of the Matilda's building located at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue. The artwork will be highly visible to the public by those visiting the shops and vehicular traffic in Confusion Circle, as well as Southwest Flagler Avenue. Some of you may recall the original Welcome to Stuart mosaic mural that was previously at this location. The city and Martin Arts, or the Arts Council, applied for a National Endowment for the Arts Grant in 2002, and there were 4 murals created as part of that project. The Welcome to Stuart was one of them. The mural was originally designed and created by Maureen Fulgenzi. Unfortunately, over the years, the tiles began to get weathered and there was cracks and the colors began to fade. There were also roof leaks in the building that caused some of the smaller tiles to fall off. So ultimately, the maintenance of the mural just became too difficult. And currently, the proposed mural location is now blank, and then the lights have been strategically placed above the awaited mural. The new proposed mural will refresh the building and bring a more vibrant twist to the original mosaic mural. The Welcome to Stuart Happiest Seaside Town mural will welcome visitors downtown with a vibrant nature-inspired elements to the unique to Florida. And the mural is a lively vintage feel which complements the neighboring businesses and historic charm of the shopping district. The proposed mural will be about 18 feet wide by 14 feet high, and correlates well with the surrounding murals, such as the one in historic downtown district, which is the House of Refuge at Sunrise and the Old Colorado Inn, the Then and Now. Also, the artwork will be executed by Cynthia Santos, who has been in the industry since 2013 and has experience working on murals of this size and quality. Cynthia is the co-founder and creative director of Chalk and Brush Muraling and Sign Painting. Some of their murals can be seen at Starbucks, Spotify, West Elm, Ford, Lexus, Coral Gables, the Dolphin Mall, just to name a few. But if you'd like to learn more about the artist, I have her full portfolio that I can share with the board. The Arts Council of Martin County also reviewed the rendering and believes the bright flora to fauna designs fit the downtown district and ties into the aesthetic of the nearby retail spaces. They stated that the happiest seaside town is a positive message to all that visit the downtown space. However, they did issue concerns that the S in the Stuart gets lost in the white space of the design, making it kind of hard to read. So the applicant will be working with the artist to make the design element easier to see as a condition of approval. So at this time, staff would like to request a motion to approve the proposed mural subject to the following conditions: that the project shall comply with the attached mural rendering in Exhibit D in your agenda packet. The property owner shall be responsible for maintenance of the artwork on the building located at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue, and that the artist will adjust the S in Stuart to be more visible.
I mean, is there any opportunity for comment on the design? And I mean, you say it's already under review for Stuart being not as clear and legible and stand out as.
Well, the welcome to, I think, is what
Right,
they're.
though I see the same the happiest seaside town is also understated in the mural. I think it should be a little bit more prominent.
So keep in mind that the mural is 18 feet wide by 14.
Right.
So, it is going to be a lot larger scale.
Okay.
But of course, anything can be conditioned in your motion. These is just staff recommendation.
Right.
Do you need a motion?
We will, but yeah, we can do a motion to discuss, I think, if at this point. Is that right, Lee? Or do we need to still, well, first I think we have to find out if there's any more public comment.
Well, also, the applicant has the right to also give a statement or a presentation.
Yeah, so.
Which is next on the list.
So,
Again, we have the blue sheet, so if you want to follow along that, that'll keep you on track.
yeah, no, so the, so we're on the board member questions, right? Is where we're at now?
I thought we needed a motion
No,
to discuss.
We're not discussing now. If you'll see next on the list, it's the applicant presentation. The applicant has the right to give a presentation and add what the staff has. And then the next would be questions for the board members would have for the applicant and/or staff.
Okay. All right, so we've had the staff presentation, applicants.
And then after that, we close the hearing. And at the conclusion, then there would be recognition for a motion.
Okay. All right.
So Chair, Ms. Dana Small is the property owner. Unfortunately, she's out of the country at this time, but she has sent a representative, Ms. Kristen Bauer, in her place. If you do have questions, she's here today.
Okay.
Dana.
Okay.
Thank you all for having us here. Inspo for the mural. Thank you. Having lived in Stuart for the past 25 years and occupying the building on the intended mural location for the past 18 years, I really have come to know this city and its community and very proud to call it home. I wanted to bring something colorful, something inviting, something that feels as a welcome stamp to the community that lives here and the people that visit. No better way to paint "Welcome to Stuart, happiest seaside town" on the wall of my building and share that expression with everyone that walks and drives by. The subject matter is neutral and intentional, sharing the beauty of our local flora and fauna. Without looking like a state seal, we created something that has a lasting image and color palette. With social media as a major tool in our everyday lives, I think this will be a welcomed backdrop for endless photos and social media outlet. The proposed size of this mural is to fill the wall in its entirety and bring a splash of color to the landscape of downtown Stuart. Thank you for your consideration of the proposed mural. Best regards, Dana.
Can you, and is, who owns the Matilda shop? Is that Dana?
Dana does.
And she owns the building as well?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I just want to check. And then the, I take it the artist is not local, though?
Correct. Miami.
Miami,
She's
okay.
from Miami.
All right, that's why. Does anybody else have any questions for the?
I have a quick one. You all recently updated the exterior of your building. Did we use any CRA funds for that, or that was just funded by the owner? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have some questions. I think on page 48 of the agenda packet, maybe it was, there was another rendering with the blue background. I don't know if you have that, Jordan, or not.
Yeah, so it's
That might
this-
help illustrate, because you intend to have a blue background.
It's a pale blue, already
Okay.
painted on the building.
That,
It's the wall.
yeah, it'll help maybe resolve some of the concerns with the S, because when you have that background on there, it stands out a little bit more. That's just one thought.
Yeah, that helps.
There it is. Yeah, I don't know what page that was.
So yeah, well, phase 2 of tonight's meeting is the artwork for the grant match, so that's part of that presentation. So you will see
I'm
this
ahead of
later
myself
on.
there.
We're jumping ahead.
I'm jumping ahead, sorry.
You're completely fine. It's part of this item too, so.
Okay, very good.
They don't
Thanks.
train us well enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
Same with me.
I gotta read more.
all right.
So just for clarity, that's a great point that Will brings up. So the action item 2 is just around the minor code. And it's action 3 that has to do with the match.
Correct. You are
Okay.
just approving the artwork at this time, which CRB is the final approval.
I see. Yep, that's helpful.
Okay. I have a follow-up question about the artwork then. I see you have, I'm going to be a nitpicky, all right? So, because I guess I can. So I don't know if we have Rosetta spoonbills in this area. I don't remember ever seeing any. And then the sailfish, they don't have those kind of scales. And again, that's just minor stuff. I don't know, but I guess my question is, maybe you know, I guess really the underlying issue is, did Dana, Ms. Small, did she choose this particular rendering, or were there multiple renderings?
There were multiple.
Okay, and this is the one she wants? Okay, perfect.
I do believe there are receipts. Yeah, which is fine. I think she researched.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's fine. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, no, it looks good. I like the colors. So anyway, I was just hoping that she was the one that was presenting this and
She's an artist herself, so
oh, good. Good to know. Thank you.
But I think Will's point's a good one. Is we almost had a building here in town that was going to have to be called Marlin condos instead of sailfish condos, because the fish they put outside was a marlin, not a sailfish. So it's kind of embarrassing when it gets up on a building. So yeah, just check it out that we got the right thing, that we're not dealing with a swordfish maybe or something. I mean, we could, but we're a sailfish capital. So
Yes.
yeah, I think just double check that. All right. Any other questions from board members relative for the applicant? Or All right?
I would just follow along with Will's eagle eye around local, let's say species, I guess. And so I'm looking at the plants that are there, and if we want to get really picky, I'm not sure Monstera is actually a local plant with a nice big leaf that has holes in it. Some people call it Swiss cheese leaf. And then actually, although oranges are wonderful, they're also not native, but we kind of accepted them as local. So I guess those get by. But I do agree with Will. I would just recommend that the artists or the folks just make sure it fits with Stuart, right? Whatever species they go with. The colors are great and the intention is great. Let's just, like Mark said, let's not have a major mistake in representation. That's all.
Okay. Does the staff have any further comments on the presentation?
No, sir.
No? Okay. And applicant, do you have any further? Okay. At this time that, we'll close the hearing. And we'll ask the board to deliberate in public, so ask them to cite the facts being considered and then to state their position and formulate a motion. So at this point, I'll just start off and then you guys, we'll take turns. And we're going to go with Bonnie after me, so because she gets left off here, and I know she wants to be. So I wanted to piggyback on what Will said because, if one can have it, all can have it, type thing. And but I do think this is a really good program, and almost the way we do it here in Stuart, at least, I don't think I've ever seen these things really turned down. I've seen people, question, and that goes through. That's why the Arts Council is involved. I've had people question, maybe the design a little bit or whatever else, or whether it meets the definition of art. Because I hate to say it, but occasionally somebody will try to slip in a fence and call it art, because we've seen that. So, but anyway, so I think that's important to understand that, and we've always tried to give preferences to local artists when we're doing these kind of things. But I think this is a unique, it is a unique mural. And I would ask, just kind of out of curiosity for Jordan or for Pinal, resource-wise, these are $3,000, usually $3,000 a pop, right? We don't do more than that typically.
Maximum is $3,000.
Yeah, and just if we all of a sudden had a bunch of people running in to put up murals, would we run out of money? I mean, is there?
No, I budget about $20,000 every year for the program. I know at one point the Creek District was trying to, work with a lot of property owners to see if we can, use one artist to do all the different murals in the Creek District, so we can have multiple at the same time, and then we would present all of that to the board. But we haven't really moved forward with that.
Okay.
But yeah, maximum is $3,000 per property.
$3,000 per property. So, and I like that the property owner is local, and I like that the business is locally owned. I think that's great, and so I'm generally in favor of this. But go ahead, Bonnie, you're up.
I don't know how many murals I've approved so far, but what a breath of fresh air this one is. It's fresh. I think it really stands out from the other murals that we have here in downtown Stuart. I happen to love the new take on the sailfish and that things aren't so literal and it's playful and fun. Matilda's, the work that you all did on the exterior of your building this past year, it looks beautiful. It enhances downtown, and I think that this mural will only add to that. Stuart is very fortunate that most of our downtown is doing pretty well, and a lot of other downtowns where I work, these murals are such a catalyst for making a city feel more vibrant and getting things to redevelop or just move things in the right direction. So I'm really happy that we have this program.
Yeah, I tend to echo Bonnie's comments. I think I think it's a good program that we have. I don't see any conflict, Mark, as you were saying about as a program as a whole. It's purposeful. It's part of our the intention of the CRA to reinvest and support these kinds of things. I don't see any issues there, and it looks like this is a great opportunity for the board to support the program in the grant.
Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with previous statements. And like Will suggested, I think maybe somebody should put a little bit of an eyeball to make sure that all of those match our indigenous flora and fauna, and make sure that it isn't representing things from other places. And perhaps the designs, review the design and make some micro adjustments for making the Stuart more readable and making the happiest seaside a little bit more prominent. But I think it's great. I think it's a beautiful design. I think it's going to look great on the building. And I think it's a wonderful idea, too. I think it's going to help Stuart.
Well,
Yeah, I want to go back to my point about it's not your money, it's to give. I think you made a great point there, Mark. This is a local owner. She owns the property. She pays a lot of taxes. In a way, it is her own money that she's getting back. And we want to, as whatever we do, boards, we want to try to help facilitate and foster small business growth, especially like you think back to the last month meeting with the code. We're trying to protect the area for our own small business people. Well, that's what we have here. So I have no problem with approving this kind of project. And I like the frisky sailfish that they have on there. It sells a little bit more like a marlin, which you caught. But, it is what it is. It's a nice project, so.
well, yeah, I think it is, and I appreciate that. We'll get a motion. I did want to mention one thing, just as a general comment. Our building code for downtown in general, we're trying to put things up on the street, and it calls for arcades and something else. I forget what exactly it is now. But they have the perfect example of one of the arcade type entrances to their building that the city is trying to promote. So I think that's another factor, is that not only is this a nice addition to downtown, but the property owner is trying to do things in accordance with what we want downtown to look like based on our code, and I think they've done a good job on it, so I appreciate that too. Anyway, motion for approval?
Motion to approve?
Bonnie, Jeff second. So we got Bonnie on first, Jeff on a second. Because it's quasi judicial, we have to do a roll call. You're going to...
No, Chair, if I may be heard real quick, just to clarify, the Exhibit C that was attached to the agenda item has 2 conditions of approval. And I think staff had added a 3rd condition of approval, that the artist will adjust the S in Stuart to be more visible. So I just want to make sure you guys cover that in your motion.
Okay, I appreciate
If you want
that.
to add the 3rd condition, which you have a right to, we need to state it in the motion, because what was attached to the agenda item does not have item 3. Does that make sense? Or am I clear on that?
Yes, I see. It just had the 3. So if we want to...
And in the agenda item, it's attached that we published on, only has 1 and 2 up there.
Okay.
We've recently added 3.
Okay.
And you guys need, in your motion, just adjust it. Yeah, we are address that, yes, there are 3 conditions of approval, and include number 3 up here.
Okay. And are we going to add anything relative to some of the comments that were made relative to...
That would be up to the board.
Yeah, so...
I'm just saying, at least there's 3 up here, and you could add another condition of approval, and you have the right.
Okay. Do you want to, Bonnie, do we want to...
Did that count? Do I need to rescind in case anyone wants to make changes?
I just wanted, you had motion for approval.
Yeah.
And you may have intended to add number 3, but in our agenda packet, 3 is not there. So
Right.
So there's no
Let me talk this through
ambiguity
out loud.
on the record, right?
I don't need condition 3, but if other members do, that's fine. Do I need to repeal my motion or to rescind my motion?
If you do not want 3, that's your motion, then you'll say without 3. Just the
Or as published.
Or you can say as published, or you can add it. It's up to you.
Or I will accept a friendly amendment, if there are any.
I will make a friendly amendment that you would include number 3 in your motion.
Okay. Motion to approve with adding item 3, the artist will adjust the S in the Stuart to be more visible.
You accept the, or you want to add?
I'd like to add an additional amendment that it goes under further review to make sure that the flora and fauna is appropriate for Stuart, and that the happiest seaside town is maybe made a little more prominent, at least reviewed by the.
They are making the final decision. So this is not going to the CRA, so you guys are making the final decision on this agenda item. The next agenda item is a recommendation to CRA, but currently, you guys are making the final call, so I want that to be clear as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And
Can I
so
comment on that, or?
we can
But-
go back and have some additional comments if you want. I think that's fine.
Well, you amended the motion.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got a second to the amendment.
We did
And
not.
then we had a request to consider another amendment.
Right.
You have the option of saying, no, I want to stick with my original amended motion and request a second.
Okay.
And if you get a second, then we vote on it.
I
But we
would,
could have further discussion and vote on it.
Yeah.
okay. I would like to stick with my original amended motion.
All right.
Okay.
Do we have a second? Yeah.
Now, can I say why?
Not having one? We'll get one and you'll get the chance.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
do we have
Chair?
an additional motion?
I just want to say for the record that the motion that Vice Chair Moser said died for a lack of second. So we would need now a second motion.
Was what?
It died for a lack of second.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because we withdrew the first. And so, motion, Jeff? Did you have a motion?
Yeah, motion for further review by the artist for, so item number 3 is now dead? Am I,
No, it's still, it's
okay, so
still gonna be
that
on.
was accepted, right? So further amendment motion for further review by the artist and by staff that the flora and fauna are appropriate for Stuart, and to consider making the happiest seaside town more prominent.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Chair,
For being difficult.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but this would be a completely new motion. So you would
Yes.
have to add that you would want the motion to either just be as published, 1 and 2, or you want to add the third condition and then your extra conditions. It would be completely new if you die for a lack of second.
Yeah, I think we
So let me, could I try?
got 1 and 2, and we've added 3. I think the question is,
No,
No.
that motion died.
well, no, but I'm saying, I think we've got kind of agreement that we're wanting to do all 3 at this point. The question is really just this last language. So that's I think what we're looking at.
If I interpreted Member Moser correctly, she's not requiring item 3.
Kill my
No,
No,
she's
I-
not requiring item 4. but additional.
Originally, I was requiring item 3, just not
Yeah, she was
a
in the-
4,
the
fourth
fourth one, the
item.
adjustment.
I'll retract it. I don't want to complicate that.
Well,
It's fine the way it is.
I think, I think that to indicate that we just would encourage the city staff maybe to take a final look at it to make sure that
that's
it's
fine.
consistent with, I don't think anybody has a problem with adding that, right?
That's fine.
And that's, sure, go ahead.
And right now, we don't have a pending motion, so.
Right, we don't, we're good.
We could put the image back up where it showed it on the building, because maybe we could see if the happiest seaside looks bigger.
Okay.
Up there. Where it's the blue. Yeah, seems small, but I'm feeling on the, does that look? It's a big wall.
Still looks small to me,
Still looks small to you?
but
I
if
feel
everybody else is fine with it.
I mean, the wall is like the back half of that room.
18 by 14.
If you go out there and look at it.
Right.
The mural before had these little squares like this, and they were still really visible before it was renovated.
Okay, that's fine. I don't need any further motion.
Okay, well, do we,
Can I make a comment before anyone does another motion? Am I allowed to do that now?
go ahead.
Can
Yeah.
I? Okay. My only apprehension with making sure that everything is in line with like what is Stuart
Yes.
is most of the plants that we plant in Stuart are not native. Actually, probably none of those are, but they grow really well here. And I think they are part of our identity. And if I'm thinking about like what's native, like maybe there's a type of fern we could put up there or a sandcord grass, and I just don't know if it'll give the same lush vibe that also represents the city of Stuart, but represents Matilda's. Like if you go and you look at the artwork inside of their store, it is tropical, it is coastal, but like lush landscape that's in the art that's in their store. And so I'm just worried if we get really too specific with the artwork, it might lose some of its umph, because most of our native plant species in Stuart would be kind of gray tone and not very bold and colorful.
Well, and I would just mention that I guess what I'm looking at on this thing is I just want somebody to take a look at it, talk to the artist and make sure. I'm not as concerned about native per se, to Stuart here per se, but we have an artist that's out of Miami. There are different plants, different situation in Miami. So what might
just
be
all grow here,
appropriate for a Miami, is not necessarily the same here. But also, I think there's I think we need to have staff take a look at it, make sure that the final thing is that we're sure that we're happy with, what's up there. I want to avoid the mistakes where Stuart's happiest seaside town has I don't know. An apple tree. Like that. And I think the orange is okay, but there's not many of those trees left, so they should have greening on them. But so I guess that's all. That's all I was saying is, I think that the three, in my opinion, the three are fine. I think those guys are doing a good job of making sure that, but I think we should, as part of the motion, just have because they are going to make some changes, just have the staff make sure that what we end up with are basically things you might see in Stuart and not, in Peoria, Illinois, where I'm from or something.
What represents Stuart? To me, when I see that, I see more Miami than South Beach than I see Stuart.
Well, there's a little of that. That's what,
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, South Beach. That's
but,
cool, I love it. But
I mean, it's nice, yeah. I think it's colorful and all that. I just want to make sure that, it's colorful.
Maybe
and
there should
fits
be a
our-
saw palmetto or a palm tree or something.
Yeah, let's not get into our,
Palmetto's native.
let's let staff just deal with it.
I just think that if we start changing the species or anything, then I don't think staff would feel comfortable approving it without bringing it to the board. So if we start making changes that are significant to what's presented today, then we would have to bring that to the board.
Can we,
Unless you tell me specific plants that
Yes.
you're looking
Right.
for.
Lee, can we make a motion, a final motion, and then with the qualification that the staff takes a look at it and, the artist takes a look at it and then they would just, all we do is we wouldn't go through we just approve that, the final, the statement that, yeah, that's fine.
The art is proposed as is. I mean, I think you need to make the decision
Okay.
here.
Okay.
If you say, I don't want oranges in it, I'll approve this without oranges. The artist, can
Okay.
remove the oranges, but that, you need to state, I agree with Panal, putting it in the staff, you're kind of leaving it open and vague.
Okay.
Yeah, so at this point, I think I would move to approve as published and then leave it at that.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, comments? I kind of agree. I think we've emphasized to staff that we have a concern about that. So, they're going to have, we're not making them responsible for it, but they know what our concern is. So, and you guys know what our concern is, right? So, so we're good. I think that's really with the, and just go from that. So, all right. We got a first and a second, right? All right, and
Just let the record show that I vehemently disagree with Board Member Moser that native species are boring and bland.
They're not boring. They're just not.
We're going to have a tree person argument here, so if you guys want to go out and hug one while we're waiting for these guys to be done, that would be fine.
Chair, I just want to confirm, because as City Attorney Baggett mentioned earlier, as published is just conditions 1 and 2, not 3.
Correct. You mean 1, 2, and 3?
No, as
as
published is 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
You don't want the S, because they've already added that. That's already been
No,
suggested.
sir, Chair.
To make that, so.
What was, sorry, if I might add, what was published in the agenda was item number 1 and 2. The project shall comply with the attached mural rendering in Exhibit D, which is what you see below. And 2, the property owner shall be responsible for maintenance of artwork on the building located at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue. The agenda did not include number 3, the artist will adjust the S in Stuart. So if we're approving based on the motion on the floor, it would not include doing any changes to S in the Stuart.
But where do we get 3 from? Wasn't that from?
That was from the recommendation from the Arts Council.
Yeah, so that's a recommendation from the Arts Council. So
Sorry, let me,
so let's just.
rephrase my motion, if you will allow me. So I would move to approve as published and then add item number 3 on the screen here about the quote S.
Good
I will
job.
second.
All right. We got a first and a second. We got a roll call now, finally.
Vice Chair Moser,
Yes.
Board Member Laughlin,
Yes.
Chair Breckbill,
Yes.
Board Member Scherer,
Yes.
and Board Member Manera.
Yes.
All right. That ends that wonderful process. I love quasi-judicial. But anyway. There's a thing on here for staff update. I didn't know if anybody had.
Chair, we have another item.
Item 3.
What?
It's the actual
I thought we were
application for
rolling. Now
the,
this is, I was all excited. I
for
thought
the
we were-
grant funding.
Okay, let's do that.
They want the $3,000, man.
All right, yeah, they do, and they should get that. This is the mural matching grant agreement between the CRA and the property owner at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue. Resolution number 07-2025 CRA, a resolution of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Stuart, Florida, authorizing the board chair to execute an agreement between the Stuart Community Redevelopment Agency and 15 Flagler LLC, who is the property owner, for a mural matching grant in the amount of $3,000 to install a mural on the exterior southern wall of the building located at 15 Southwest Flagler Avenue, providing an effective date, providing for conditions of approval, and for other purposes. All right, now this isn't quasi-judicial, so do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I would
Okay.
say, I think it's a good program. This is a qualified request. It's
Yeah.
designed. Now what are you interrupting?
Well, we're going to, because we got to have
Never had our presentation. Staff was-
We had the presentation.
No, this is on the matching grant. You
It's
have
2
not had a
separate agenda
presentation.
items. But it's okay if you
Right,
would
if you
like
wanna
to
skip
move
the
forward with the
presentation.
motion.
We don't need
Absolutely, we are not skipping the presentation. Sorry.
Jordan wants to make a presentation.
No, by all means, if you'd like to move forward, it's okay. So I can do a brief presentation if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, that'd
Okay,
be good.
okay. So as you're aware, we received a mural matching grant application from the proposed mural on the wall of Matilda's building downtown. The application is processed, like we discussed, simultaneously with the minor conditional use application, which was just approved by the CRB board. The objective of the program, since some board members are new, is to use murals as a catalyst for redefining our area as a destination for arts and culture. The applicants are eligible to receive financial assistance in the form of a 50-50 funds match not to exceed $3,000 for new mural artwork, which is visible from the public right-of-way. Each fiscal year, the CRA budgets $20,000 for the mural matching grant program as previously stated. And the program is available to private property owners, limited to commercial and mixed-use buildings within the CRA. Murals are considered temporary works of art and should be maintained for a minimum of 5 years. And a mural may not use letters, words, numerals, figures, emblems, logos, or any combination thereof to advertise goods, services, or merchandise. The Mural Matching Grant Program was implemented in 2019 and has assisted with the funding of 7 murals throughout the CRA. The murals pictured are on the Gilt Complex, Tejon Building, Old Colorado Inn, Urban Botanicals, and the VA Building on MLK. As mentioned, the proposed mural will be on the exterior southern wall of the Matilda's building, and it will catch the attention of shoppers passing by as well as cars passing through Confusion Corner and down Flagler Avenue. Public art is an essential component to the community revitalization. Art strengthens communities, drives tourism, and fosters environment and creativity and innovation. Through this community revitalization effort, we aim to engage the creative sector and drive economic development within the CRA. As described in the previous agenda item, the proposed mural will support those efforts. The applicant is requesting a matching grant in the amount of $3,000 for the proposed mural. The total cost of the mural project is estimated at $21,836, and the applicant is requesting the reimbursement of the 50%, but not to exceed the $3,000, as in the program guidelines. So at this time, staff would request a motion to recommend the CRA to approve Resolution 07-2025 CRA to award the grant in the amount of $3,000.
Jordan, what was the total?
The total cost of the project is $21,836.
So that's coming out of the pocket of the building?
Minus the match we're giving them
Yeah,
of
minus-
$3,000.
Okay. All right, just wanted to make that clear.
Sure.
So we knew what was going there. Also, one other quick question since we brought this up. What's the expected life? Are they sealing this, or what's the expected life on this?
All of our murals have been sealed, and they're expected to maintain them for up to 5 years.
5 years
Yeah.
minimum? Okay, all right, just wanted to clarify. All right. Now can I have a motion?
No, I'm annoyed now.
Me too. I'm going home. This is the best meeting I ever had. We got a motion? Who's making it?
We have a motion by Board Member Manera and seconded by Board Member Scherer.
Yes.
Okay, good. We can go back. We went back to that one. Okay,
We're
good.
back in time. And
All right. We don't need a roll call for this one, right?
We do.
time machine.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
No, we do, it's money.
Oh, you do need one?
Yes, it's money.
It's money.
Why is that? What's the determination of that? I know quasi.
All money.
Money? If there's any sale, anything has money associated? All right, good. All right, now I know. All right, roll call.
Board Member Laughlin,
Yes.
Board Member Manera,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moser,
Yes.
Board Member Scherer,
Yes.
and Chair Breckbill.
Yes. All right, now, if I haven't forgotten anything else, done anything else wrong, we may get out of here. But we do have staff updates, so I am going to see if the staff has an update for anything. So,
No
is there any update? Okay.
Nothing? You can't think of anything?
Shush.
It's only
Wait.
5:05.
All right. Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Out of here.
Third.